What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to the Week 11 update show. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We got some decent movement this week, so we're going to get right into it here with the star/stars of the week. We're going to go with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. Absolutely killing it for the Saints. The best 1-2 punch. Love the size-speed duo there. Alvin Kamara with the big game-winning touchdown against the Redskins last week. Both of these guys moving up +2 as the Saints really are looking to make a big Super Bowl push here. And then the dud of the week, pains me to say this, but Nathan Peterman, quarterback that I loved coming out as a rookie, had him as the #1 quarterback in this class, and was looking good for a minute as he takes the job from Tyrod Taylor and then just gets devastated by the Chargers defense that has really emerged as arguably the best defense in football. I will add this, terrible decision by the Bills to put Peterman in that game. Not the game I would have gone to for a 5th-round rookie to get a confidence boost, and it's not like Tyrod's been so bad, and now it's going to be tough for Peterman to regain that confidence. So looking like a bad call at this point for me. I think it was poorly handled by the Bills. Peterman definitely showed promise in beating out Tyrod, but Peterman goes down 3, and I don't know if we're ever going to see him again. That was kind of the career-changing game for a guy like Peterman. So let's get into the rest of the risers this week. I need to mention that we create a player this week, Chase Allen, outside linebacker for the Dolphins, getting on the field, playing about half the snaps here at outside linebacker for what has been a terrible group of linebackers this year. Really, this Dolphins team in general really struggling right now, maybe trying to get some young players to step up and see what they might have for the future. And then let's talk about this Cardinals secondary, as Budda Baker has emerged as a potential superstar safety, really starting the last 2 weeks and playing great in that opportunity. And then you'll notice I finally decided to move Tyrann Mathieu back to corner. Now be careful here because he is a nickel corner, purely, especially this year. A couple years ago when he really broke out, he was playing more safety, but he really has been a nickel corner. I would suggest playing him as the 3rd corner. The Cardinals just run a very unique defense, so it's really hard to place a position based off of sort of this outdated roster management that Madden has. So he's a corner now, and it might change in the future. So his rating technically comes down. That's basically just based on the position change and how they grade different ratings. But the big thing here is Budda Baker emerging as a pretty solid starter as a rookie, gets +4, and he's only 21 years old. Ton of potential there from Budda Baker. And then for the Ravens, whose defense has continued to play real well despite their offense being miserable, Willie Henry going up +2 on that D-line. And then at the edge rush, Matthew Judon has been playing pretty well. Not a full-time starter per se, but +1 for Judon. Sticking with linebackers in Kansas City, Reggie Ragland, remember him? He was cut by Buffalo and signed by the Chiefs, or actually it might have been a trade, I can't even remember, but he is starting now, and I think Ramik Wilson might be hurt is what's going on there, but he's playing pretty well in there for the Chiefs defense. For the Rams, I had to move Andrew Whitworth up. He just really caught my attention the last week against the Vikings. Everson Griffin got his, but it is Everson Griffin. And Andrew Whitworth just still looks like a physical specimen of a tackle, so he goes up +2. His grades are still off the charts, and he's been a tremendous impact and a big reason why this Rams offense has been so successful this year. And then out of that same game, another tackle is going to be Rashad Hill, who goes from the replaceables level to replacement level, which is a 68 overall right tackle. He's basically holding down the fort for Mike Remmers, and he hasn't been terrible. He struggled against Detroit most recently, but this is the Week 11 update. That is slightly reflected here, but really 3 solid games from Rashad Hill at right tackle. For the Redskins, Junior Galette moving up +1. He's been slowly creeping up throughout the year, but he's been one of the bigger impact players for this Redskins defense. And then the Chargers, who are just playing great football right now, trying to make a late season playoff rush. Joey Bosa goes up +1, so he enters the superstar tier, and I wouldn't be surprised if I keep raising him and he ends up in like the 95 range. This Chargers team is getting hot, and Joey Bosa is a big part of that. And along with him is Keenan Allen, who I lowered actually last episode. And it's no secret, I love Keenan Allen. I think he is virtually a Larry Fitzgerald type of player. Solid hands, excellent route running, can play physical. And he's finally getting the production. And I was hesitant when I lowered him, but bumped him right back up. He is exactly the player we thought he was, just getting used now. I believe 23 catches, over 300 yards, and 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games, counting the Thanksgiving game yesterday. So Keenan Allen back to an 88 and just might go up again, depending what we see next week. And then how about Patrick Robinson? I haven't raised him yet, but he goes up +4. He has been tremendous as the nickel corner for the Eagles. Now, I will say, Madden has him as an 86, I think, which is absurd. He's a nickel corner. He's not outside shutting guys down. And he's basically in a dream scenario behind that Eagles front 7. So I'll give him his credit. He gets +4 this week. He has been a big impact on this defense. But an 86, like, you can't put him on an outside AJ Green type of receiver and expect Patrick Robinson to play good coverage. No, he's more of an instinctive guy in the nickel that's going to play good run defense and cut off maybe slants and screen plays, quicker rather than good man cover downfield. So 75 for Patrick Robinson. Might continue to move up a little bit, but definitely nowhere near that 86 mark that EA has him at. So now let's talk about the fallers. The Falcons released Jalen Collins. He goes down -7, and he actually clears waivers, so maybe a sign that the talent not worth the off-the-field issues there. He'll get another opportunity, but a bit of a surprise there with the Falcons letting Jalen Collins go as soon as he came off suspension. And then the rest of the fallers here are all quarterbacks. A lot of quarterback movement this week. So Joe Flacco -2. He has been really bad, and that contract is an absolute nightmare. They can't really get rid of him until 2020, I heard. So this is 32-year-old Joe Flacco, and he's already looking this bad. I know he doesn't have the best surrounding core, but man, it could continue to get worse for Joe Flacco. And then out of that same game, the Ravens-Packers, Brett Hundley is going to go down, and he basically seemed to have lost all of his confidence pretty quickly after he throws a couple picks early and then basically just panicked. And I thought the Packers were actually going to bench Hundley in this game. He was that bad. He looked that uncomfortable. We'll see how he looks Sunday night, but things are not looking good for this Green Bay team. And then Alex Smith. Some people questioned why I didn't raise him up to an 85, 86 after he came flying out the gates looking like an MVP candidate. I was pretty sure that he was going to come back to earth. You don't just go 12 years being an average quarterback who struggles to throw the deep ball, and then all of a sudden you look like Aaron Rodgers. It's not a surprise to me that they lost to the Giants, even though they were heavy favorites, and I picked them. But Alex Smith just gives you a certain ceiling as a football team, and it's not a very high ceiling, to be frank. The Chiefs will probably continue to play decent this year. They'll make the playoffs, but until really Patrick Mahomes emerges as potentially a much better quarterback, this Chiefs team is going to be pretty stagnant. And then our last faller, Dak Prescott, another guy who last year people were just riding into me because I didn't raise him to an 84, 85. He had a dream scenario. I wanted to see it. I kept saying this week after week after week. How does he look without the running game, without some of his linemen? And we're seeing the real Dak Prescott. I think he is a good quarterback, but I think in the sense that Andy Dalton is a good quarterback, that Alex Smith is a good quarterback. They're fine, but we've never seen anything, in my opinion, from Dak Prescott that makes us say this guy is a true franchise quarterback and a superstar guy. So he goes down -1. The surroundings are almost so bad right now that I'm not going to freak out. And frankly, Dak has impressed me more at times this year than he did last year, just as far as the film goes. But definitely not on the boat of Dak Prescott being even close to Carson Wentz, which has been a pretty big discussion this year. I think it's pretty damn clear that Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott, and I said that coming into the year, and it's really revealing itself here. So that does it for the update this week. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Any players you think I'm missing on your favorite teams, or if you think I'm too harsh, or whatever. Just let me know. Like the video if you enjoyed. Cheers, everyone. We'll see you next time.